Thank you, Chairman. I want to start just by addressing something you said, Mr. Walsh, and this is not to quibble with you, but I want to point out that in New Mexico, we actually produce enriched uranium, and it supplies roughly 25 to 30% of the demand in the country. I think that's a good example of what we should be expanding around the country in order to meet additional demand. I'm going to start my questions with you, Ms. Robertson, and I was glad to hear your description of some of the solar projects that you executed in Colorado. I've been looking closely at NERC's 2025 Summer Reliability Assessment in Texas. Texas added 7 gigawatts of solar power in 2024, nearly 7.5 gigawatts of battery storage in 2024 alone, which is helping the state meet growing electricity demand from AI and data centers and some of the things that you've articulated. As a result of those additional capacities, the risk of power emergencies has dropped to just 3% now, as opposed to 15% a little over a year ago. So, Ms. Robertson, do you agree that in the face of rising demand, that the grid requires more, not less, affordable, reliable energy?
Oh, undoubtedly, the grid demands, and we need to deliver more reliable, affordable, secure energy. Are you specifically asking about BESS systems or solar systems?
So, looking at Texas, would you agree that deploying both energy storage in tandem with renewable energy technologies can actually increase grid reliability, hold prices down, and add new generation sources?
It certainly has the capability to do that. Texas still relies primarily on natural gas as its baseload power, and that has to be the baseload and the maximum, because solar plus batteries can provide a number of benefits, both at a large scale and a small scale. But we have yet to see the 5-10-year implications of these large battery systems, which unfortunately, or ironically, the environments that are wonderful for solar, Texas, are not great for batteries. And so battery degradation and the lifetime of a utility scale battery is something that is going to be a further effort of my department, if I'm so fortunate to be confirmed, but those technologies have yet to play out.
I would beg to differ. In New Mexico, we were an early adopter of grid scale storage. At this point in my personal grid in the Albuquerque area, we're not only 35% solar, 7% nuclear, 15% wind, but using 15% battery storage, we've been able for a number of years now to maintain a high level of reliability, and not just a high level of reliability, but a low retail cost, which is the other thing that American consumers care about. I pay about 10.8 cents. Now, I rarely pay that because I have solar on my roof at a scale that I don't get an electric bill most months, but when I do, I pay 10.8 cents, which is, if you look at the country as a whole, much lower than what you see in the Midwest and the East. Mr. Walsh, the Waste Isolation Pilot Project, or WIPP, in New Mexico is the sole, as you know, only geological repository licensed to store transuranic radioactive waste. It's one of 3 globally. We're currently working to refurbish and repair parts of the lift system that's used to bring up mined salt out of the ground. 2 other lifts, one used for transporting true waste, the other used for emergency purposes, are in need of repair and placement. So talk to me a little bit. I know you're familiar with that facility. It's our only facility that serves this purpose. Describe to the committee your commitment to overseeing the swift construction and rehabilitation of the elevator systems at the WIPP facility.
Yeah, thank you, Senator Heinrich, for that question. I am very familiar with the WIPP and its importance to the environmental management's cleanup across the DOE's complex. And as you mentioned, the lift system, I think, dates back to the early 1900s. It came from a mine in Colorado. So it's absolutely in need of repair, and I'd be happy to look into that. As you know, I'm not confirmed yet, so I haven't looked at the details of the current budget, but I'll ensure, because it is such an important facility to our mission, that we'll make sure we have a serviceable lift system.
I look forward to following up with you, Mr. Walsh.
Thank you.
Yeah.